Well, Acadiana's weather pattern getting back to a more typical summer-like scenario. Rain chances down, not completely out, but they're going to be much lower than what we've seen over the last week or so. We do need a break. Things are pretty soggy out there. We need things to dry up just a little bit, and we have some changes, though, on the way for the weekend. Rain chances may go back up, courtesy of an upper-level trough that's up by Nebraska. That's going to be coming down to the Gulf Coast, and that's what ultimately may steer our tropical system. Right now, we have this ridge of high pressure that's edged in, and that's been keeping the storms mostly in northern portions of Acadiana, and this should dominate over the next couple of days, keeping rain chances low. Meanwhile, our tropical system down here in the eastern Caribbean, and we think it's going to find the path of least resistance between this high pressure, which is going to be replaced by a low pressure system that's going to help, we think, draw this system to the north prior to threatening a good part of the Gulf of Mexico. Eastern Gulf not out of the woods yet, but we're feeling pretty confident this is not going to be a threat to Louisiana, and that is the good news. Now this afternoon, lots of tropical showers and storms, mainly across western and northwestern sections of Acadiana. This is a 6-hour loop, and we still have some pretty strong storms ongoing along and north of the Highway 190 corridor in St. Landry Parish, with storms between Plaisance, we'll say, Washington, up through Garland and going toward Palmetto. A pretty healthy downpour on the way for you. You've already seen some more rain and more heavy rains on the way. This activity, though, should quiet down pretty quickly this evening, and then it should be quiet for the rest of the night. Meanwhile, we're dialed into the radar here in Puerto Rico, and we can see showers now, the center of our circulation somewhere down here, but we don't see much of an organized system, at least on radar, and we should if this was going to be a tropical storm. So let's switch it over to the satellite imagery. You do see the scattering of showers and storms across the Gulf Coast, and then we get out into the Atlantic. We see our system here in the eastern Caribbean. Elsewhere, it's pretty quiet across much of the Atlantic basin. Another tropical wave coming off the African coast, but we're seeing an upper level pattern, a planetary wave pattern that would not support tropical activity closer to the western hemisphere. So even our tropical system we see going right now has somewhat of a little bit of a dubious future, and until we see convection developing around the center, this is not going to be upgraded to a tropical storm. Hurricane hunters went out there earlier today, could not close off a circulation, but they found 40-50 mile-an-hour winds strong enough for a tropical storm. So this remains a potential tropical cyclone. Potential tropical cyclone number 9 could be a Beatles song. This could be Isaias as a tropical storm if it's upgraded, and we think it's going to happen before it impacts the Dominican Republic and Hispaniola, Haiti here on the western side, but it's going to interact with land, so this is going to have a limited future. We have tropical storm warnings all the way up through the Turks, Caicos, tropical storm watches up through the Bahamas, and we do think this is going to make a turn, and we think it may make a little bit more of a turn than what the Hurricane Center is indicating, mainly because our models, such as the European and the GFS model, this is the Euro model, has a more eastward track, and we'll watch that. Here's our upper level trough, and that's why we think this is going to miss us off to the east. So certainly good news there. So quiet overnight tonight. Then for tomorrow, we'll see a few isolated showers, temperatures topping out in the lower 90s. So overnight tonight, 76 the low. Should be a quiet night ahead with fair skies. Then tomorrow, summer's back in full force, lower 90s with your rain chance at 20%, and much the same could be said for Friday. Going into the weekend, could see a slightly better chance of showers and storms, but overall, typical summer pattern, Marcel.